Good morning, boys. I'm trying an experiment. I was going to sit down and write an email, and I thought, hey, let's do this record a video on Zoom gig. Couple of update items for you. One, just chat about Ryan. He's just doing a phenomenal job. He's a treat to work with. He totally gets production, quality, process. He is so in the right job. He has not talked to me yet about the kind of looming issue. I've given him his space. It's now been, I think, 2 weeks since we had that hard conversation. I'd like your advice as to when I should press a little harder and try to bring this thing home. I think he's heading into the right spot, but yeah. So there's that. I want to talk a little bit about Josh. He and I had a good meeting on, I think it was Thursday. We ended up meeting for a total of 6 hours, talked about a lot of stuff. I was really hard on him. I just kept using as you guys know, I had a whole list of examples. I only got through half of them. Just very modest communications, not what I'll call strategic in his thinking, not disciplined. It was all hard. He really wants to do the job. He wants to do better. We had an interesting telling moment. He said, so Ken, you want me to be Toby and he named some other name. It totally threw me. I didn't know what he meant, but apparently these are characters on The Office, the TV show. And Toby, I guess, is kind of a hard butt. You know, it's not that I want him to be, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not asking him to be something he's not. It's funny how Mike DePaul called him a chameleon. It fits. He kind of wants to morph into what you want him to be. The challenge is, you know what I'm going to say. We humans are what we are. Pounding round square pegs into round holes is just, guys, I've done this. It is a long, tortured process for a lot of different parties. Where we left it is, as far as he is concerned, he's got a second chance. I said communications have to be way better. I want more strategic thinking. I told him if I said what was my goal for his job, it is to make personnel a competitive advantage for Sergeant Cleans. And there's a lot that lies under that. He's a little passive aggressive. And I told him that, by the way. And we used examples. He does the thing where you goof. I had him dead to rights on some things, right? He says, yeah, I'm sorry. And then he proceeds to explain why it happened as if to mitigate it. And I'm like, Josh, if you're 30% wrong in a situation and 70% right, I want you just to go, man, I was wrong. It's just how it makes life go better. I don't have time. I said, you don't have time. As a manager, if you've got people reporting to you, do you really want to listen to the blah, blah, blah of why, he was 20 minutes late to our meeting here? I said, you're late. You've been late to every meeting we've had. He started going into this explanation. I'm like, well, I ain't got time for that. Yeah. As you can tell, it was a long, hard meeting. I'm a little putting this to you two because I just see an arduous path ahead that is not going to be fun for any of 6 parties, and it's going to retard the upside for Sergeant Clean. There you are. I'll let you two talk about it from here, because I know this is a very sensitive topic. I want to talk about ownership, just a quick thing. So, 3 pieces. At a high level, I can detect that the two of you are very reluctant to give up more ownership. Every time I bring it up, I kind of get a blank stare. I get it. I guess I just wanted to express to you. So when we sold DRV Systems, I only owned about 25%. We had diluted down selling to different people within the organization. When we sold the second time, I only owned 7%, 6.52 or something, 6.8. I can't remember. When Microsoft went public, I think Bill Gates owned 15%. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I think sometimes, not sometimes, judiciously selling off stock is just a big payoff. And where I'm going there is, in particular, I'm thinking about Nick and Wyatt, who you've never met, and that may come to nothing. He hasn't gotten back to me, and he may be totally disinterested, don't know. For the senior executive team, I'm not saying everyone. I don't think Nancy's interested in it. I don't think Josh has earned it. I don't think he's there. But for many of the senior executive team, and again, I'm hearkening back to what I did at DRV Systems, I think providing an ownership opportunity just pays itself back in spades. Well, why am I bringing up Nick? Nick has now patiently asked me twice about it. He, about a year ago, I don't know if you guys remember, he wanted to meet and he talked about it. And then he brought it up to me just, maybe a month ago. Very light, I love him. He's a 12. I think we should consider giving him an opportunity to try to buy in and get some ownership. I just think he's that good. I think it'll pay off for us. And then but to Wyatt, I kind of thought I got a blank stare there. He's a talented kid. He's making 100 grand with the county, doing who knows what. He's not going to come here unless he has some vision for getting some ownership. He's if you look at his culture index, he's sort of Brian, which is why I like him and why I like Brian. And he's going to need that. But I think you give him that, and we put him in some good position. Don't know what that is yet. Maybe managing green, maybe HR director. You put him in a good position. That dude, he'll strap the plow to him. He's going to plow some fields, and we'll like it. He's our ethics. He's high integrity. He's just a great guy. And then my last thing is on a personal level. I've mentioned a couple of ideas to you, and again, I think I keep getting blank stares. I get it. This is complicated. I'm totally there. Of the 3 I mentioned, I'm the last in importance, but I do think those items need addressed, and I wanted to thwack at that. Okay, so yesterday, my last update, yesterday I spent, I think 4 hours, Steve and Ryan and I, and what we did is took all this information we've gathered from our trip to Crew and Mark Ellis being out and other ideas from team members. We kind of amalgamated it. I'm going to work on that today. Ryan and I went through and said low, medium, high priority. We also went through the major expenditure list and tried to prioritize that. I'm going to try to put all that together. I've already Ryan's already off on some of the low dollar, high priority items. And what I hope to is at our set on Wednesday, kind of lay out the global plan there and let us rubber stamp it and get on down the road. I think we can do some smart stuff at the tunnels to improve quality and majorly improve speed and make it easier for the sites to run. So, okay, that was your update. Tell me if this makes any sense. Talk to you later. Bye.